4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey guys, Ro16 here bringing on Starcraft commentary. This is going to be the second set between BeSt and Canata in the round of 16 in the innate MSL, facing off against each other on Odd Eye here. Continuance of the teammate duel. The bottom right hand 5 o'clock position we are going to have as the purple, pink, whatever colored magenta. We're going to have the, of course, protoss player BeSt, and at the upper left hand position 11 o'clock we're going to have the red Terran player Canata. So let's see how these guys follow this up after follow up the massive craze fest that was the epic long 50-minute macro game on Ultimatum. Starting off by murdering each other's main bases, then going all over the place. Unfortunately, I feel Canata made a few mistakes. One of them was not completely killing BeSt's main. He left his carrier tech alive. And I feel he just killed a pylon, if I remember correctly. I feel that leaving the tech alive was not a good idea. I feel he probably had enough time to kill it. I honestly feel that he should have. And after that, he decided to turtle. He turtled on one base for far too long, and BeSt simply going for carriers gave him the maneuverability he needed to get the win. And, well, Canata then, at that point, he decided to go for something funky, and he went for nuke strategies, which didn't really help him. He managed to get one nuke to hit the base, but lost so many ghosts just to get that, only killing a bunch of probes and nothing else, really. At that point, base already had 3 mining bases, so it really didn't help him much at all. If he had gone for lockdowns, I feel he would have possibly had at least a better chance to get back into the game. I still feel that after the base trade, the game was in BeSt's hands simply because of the maneuverability advantage, but I still think Canata had a chance. Going for mass lockdowns, basically getting rid of the carrier fleet, would allow him more maneuverability, but allow him to expand more freely and get back into the game. But, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'm expecting kind of the same deal here. A large macro game. This is the kind of players these two guys are. They are very much macro players, kind of I Love Uvi's ilk. Their BeSt's probes getting a little bit delayed in front of the simulator. That does happen occasionally. Don't quote me. Don't quite remember why that happens, but occasionally when you click on the simulator and the probes just stand there instead of actually going and start mining. Kind of go in after the other, and it's kind of a big old pain in the ass. Canata seems to be, I think he's getting one factory down. Apparently I saw only one SCV mining gas. We're probably going to go one fac into expansion. On the opposite side, BeSt going to get his Zealot up. I saw his Seminar's core up already, so he's probably going to tech up, possibly go for one base, observatory into expansion. We're going to see, but I am expecting fairly safe builds. These are the type of players they are. Macro games against each other. BeSt, very well known, of course, for his PvT alongside. He used to be one of the best PvP players in the world. Used to be the best PvP player in the world. Unfortunately, lost that title. His stats are pretty high up there, but he really hasn't been up to snuff. He had, basically, you had Jaedong's JVZ, basically Jaedong's ZVZ. BeSt had BVP, basically, BeSt versus protoss. He was at about 80% at one point, I believe. Has his first Dragoon out, so he's going to be able. The scout was already prevented, so at least he's going to be able to continue that. Even go out, might even hunt that SCV. It's going to take him quite a few shots to take that out. Honestly, I feel it's kind of a sort of putting that Dragoon out there, sort of a feeler to just go and check, make sure there's nothing trying to sneak by. With that Zealot on the ramp, I really don't expect anything to do as such. And the opposite side was kind of the same thing. BeSt really didn't get a proper scout up the ramp inside the base from what I saw anyway. Might be completely wrong and might have been blinded while I was babbling about stuff. Robotics facilities start off by BeSt, so we're going to see whether this is indeed an observatory first into an expansion, whether he's actually going to go for one base Reaver harassment. On the opposite side, I think Canata did go for his expansion. So I'm reading this very well. It does have a Vulture coming out. Did put out a machine shop down as well, so we're going to see whether he follows this up with a tank and whether he's getting siege mode alongside just to be able to hack at any Dragoons that come in from the bottom from that upper ridge. Meanwhile, yeah, still a probe milling around for BeSt, and yeah, Canata, of course, setting up his wall, floating in that rack stand, kind of close himself in a little bit, allowing less space for any forces to get by. Second gateway up for BeSt, and is also going to be putting down his natural expansion. I'm wondering whether there is an observatory up or not, because I don't think he got the scout. And if CV now coming out is going to get surrounded by Dragoons a little bit. We're going to see what's against far too many shots. Think he spotted the natural, though. I think he did spot the natural expansion coming. There is going to be an observatory coming in alongside that natural expansion. Mines first for Canata, so he's going to go out. Has a few vultures out in the field. Got to mine near his natural expansion just to play safe. Getting an engineering bay up. Spotting the natural expansion. He's probably assuming that BeSt went for that one observatory alongside to get a scout inside the base. And of course, observatory, since you have a robotics facility already up, why not follow it with a robotics support and try to get some Reaver harassment going? But a very interesting mine line. That's 5 mines just in a straight line. It's kind of interesting that might just, it really depends on how you're gonna defend off that, because mines, it's kind of very nice line for a mine drag, unless of course you put him all your forces right behind the mine and maybe one mine will kill the front force, fall into another mine and such. This might end up being a good idea if you put the tanks a little bit further behind the mines. But yeah, he's put all his 6 mines inside of a defensive posture and not really milling around to do any sort of damage. BeSt now getting his natural expansion up, and he did get his first observer out in the field, and we're going to see whether Canata actually managed to catch that observer with his turrets that he's putting up very close to his base. He's definitely expecting that observer on his base. We also saw him put down an armory, of course, to get those upgrades going and to switch into some Goliaths in case he needs it. Particularly, he's going to need Goliaths, of course, particularly if BeSt decides to go into his good old 2-base Arbiter. Last time he went for 2-base carriers. I'm not quite sure whether he's going to do quite the same here. I feel the map is not quite as viable for carriers, but the natural expansion is very much an open space for carriers, because the map is still very large. It's not playing a 2-player map. Actually, with the help of those observers, those Dragoons are coming out and actually going to clear out some of those front mines, but the tanks are in a perfect position to prevent anything else from happening. Also, actually, the barracks are floated up. The Vulture's going to get inside, is going to spot the robotics facility, but not really much else. Did not spot any additional tech. Almost got that inside. If it had speed for the Vulture, definitely wouldn't have been able to get inside. Fully spot the positioning. Mines even go inside instead of the main now for Canata. This is, of course, all being spotted by the Observer. These are quite possibly future mines, just in case the Arbiters are going to coming in, and Observer gets trapped in between some turrets. Not quite sure whether he spotted everything out, but I think not sure if he spotted the armory at the upper left-hand corner, but I think he got most of the information needed. BeSt adding in pylons at his natural expansion does have robotic support up, and the shuttle, so we're going to be seeing the Reaver very soon. But I think the turrets overall have been set up pretty decently by Canata, and of course with all those mines in position are also going to be a big help. Stargate alongside a Citadel of a Dune, so we're going to see whether he decides to. From when he looks like he's going for it, it does look like he's going to go for 2-base Arbiter. It does look like he's going to be adding a Citadel, an Arbiter Tribunal alongside. Does have that Shuttle up, does have that Reaver up, putting in a couple of Zealots. I think it was 1, might have been 2 Zealots inside of that. He's going to try to go for some harassment at that main. There is a main and the Netrix. There's turrets all over the place, so he's got to be very careful how he plays this. Is going to get spotted by the Vultures on the way, so this already might be a clue for him to kind of not do anything. Our mines all over the place, even more mines being planted down. Another turret even being added in the lower left at the natural expansion. 2 more factories coming up alongside a command center. So Canata, he's going to preempt an expansion, going to put up another expansion at the 11:30 o'clock. Now it's still going to come down to how well BeSt does this harassment. It's get fully spotted, so I'm not sure if he's actually going to take the risk. Is going to go, does have a Templar Archives, and of course following that instantly up with an Arbiter Tribunal. So he's going to go for 2-base Arbiters, try to put on some pressure, adding more gateways. Of course he's going to continue macroing up. Is going to want to go to this location right here at the 4 o'clock. Want to take a base there. Already has a probe in position. Going to scout around a little bit first. We're wondering actually whether he decides to take a slightly different base. Yeah, no, never mind. He's just going to start piling up a little bit to wall off partially. If that could prevent that. The Vultures, of course, for Canata at exactly the right time did kill the probe. So at the very least there is going to be a delay. Canata we're going to be able to safely take his 3rd. He's going to want to move up. He does have map control at the moment, but